Okay, we're live. So who would like to say the prayer?
I can do it, Ricky.
Thanks.
All righty. Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this day that we've been given and for the opportunity for us to learn and to have thy hand in the things that we are going to learn. And we ask that thou would help and guide and direct us in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Are we supposed to be recording this? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Oh.
This is live right now, and it's recording. When we're done, I will have the link that we put inside the group assignment.
Okay, sounds good. I'm not really familiar with Google Hangout, so I'm glad you know how to do it.
Yeah, it took me a little while to figure it out, but I've done a couple semesters where I have needed to use it.
Yeah,
so
it can be a pain. Yeah. Do they? I can't remember the. Was this class? Is it through the YouTube?
Yeah. This will go through YouTube. I started this from YouTube. I created a live event. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay, cool. As long as I don't change it again, I'll remember how to do that.
This week was harder than last week, I felt. So I think, let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. Okay, so our group's thing was an example of the assumption of the risk defense to negligence or of another affirmative defense to negligence.
I feel pretty lost, to be honest, but if you can.
Okay. So from what I understand, I mean, I don't know if you guys understand the principle. Basically, it's saying, I had to Google it a little bit and look up some like definitions of it and stuff. And like one example was of a expression of risk to assumption of risk is like if you go to like a ski resort, you sign a waiver saying if I get hurt, I can't sue the ski resort because you're assuming the risk that you could get hurt. Now,
that's a good example.
So that's an expression of it. An implication of it is if you go with a bunch of buddies to play football and one of you tackle football and one of you gets hurt, and you can't just sue your friend who tackled you because you knew going into that game that you could possibly get injured. So that's how I understood it.
What was the second one that you just, it was the first one was an expression of it, and then the second
is just an implication, so that it's implied, an implied assumption of. So nobody really says this is the risk that you're taking. It's just implied. You know that if you go play football with your buddies, you could possibly get hurt. And it just said in a defense, you have to show is that, let's see, what did I find? I'm on a different computer now.
I think we got the most confusing one.
Yeah, I had to read that thing like 4 or 5 times trying to have it make sense.
Oh, I kept looking and I was like, I looked at all the other ones and I was like, let's see, like one of them was like an example of a misdemeanor, and I was like, I create like 10 of them a day. Just kidding. An example. But so let's see. Oh yeah, it said so to successfully use assumption of risk as an affirmative defense, the defendant must show the court that the plaintiff knew there was a risk of injury or other harm and knowingly engaged in the activity which resulted in his injury or damages. Okay. So an example they said was there's a sign in a contaminated area that says dangerous hazardous material, and the sign's clearly pointed. Somebody goes in there, gets affected by this contaminated, this hazardous material. they caused their own injury because they assumed the risk when they saw the sign and just went in.
So like the wet floor kind of sign deal. Would that fall under?
Really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great example. So, so let's see. So, did you guys have any examples? What were your I thought it was super hard to find an article.
Oh yeah, I found one about I kind of lost my thought, but it was about negligence when you go to a cruise line and there are people who who have an accident, who and I guess, I don't know, there's an act that family members can sue for damages, but I don't know, I had a hard time really understanding, like the way you explained it, it was really, really perfect.
Thanks. What about you, Thomas?
It was really hard. I think I saw was it about the cruise line? I think I saw something about that, but the one I chose was about Pokemon Go.
Okay.
I never played it, but I saw people wandering around Tallahassee. There's like parks and stuff full of kids, but it was about how they'll get into people's property. And so I felt like it kind of had an implication there, but I wasn't entirely sure because it kind of looked at the homeowner's perspective of these kids are in my yard. What if they get hurt? And so that would kind of be like the implication, I think. But
yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a great example as well. I couldn't find any articles on the Wall Street Journal website that he gave us.
Yeah, I only found one.
The one I found was like about how the United States and the UK are updating their disclosure or the board of directors, stating that by being on the board of directors, you're assuming the risk that if basically take on if the company succeeds or fails, you succeed or fail kind of thing. So you're assuming that risk just by taking that position.
okay.
And that's the only one I found. I don't even know if it's correct.
Well, Okay. I'm sorry. I just have to.
That's fine. Did either of you think up of an example that we could do here? I thought up of one, but I don't know if you guys had thought of anything.
I think yours is going to be probably more accurate than mine.
Well, let me just read mine. It's kind of silly, just like last week's was, but here, I'll email it to both of you so you can have it. Okay, I just emailed it to you. You guys want to pull that up? I haven't changed anything else yet, so I'll go ahead and record this and type it out and submit it. But we have. Is your name? Did you say your name Myrna?
Yeah, Myrna.
Myrna. Okay. Myrna and.
Oh, Mirna in Spanish.
How do you say it in Spanish?
Mirna.
Mirna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we have Thomas is here.
Yep.
Thomas, what's your last name again?
Walter. It's like Walter, but with a V.
Okay, perfect. And Tyler Arnett. Okay, and then, so this is my example. On a beautiful spring morning, Timothy had the bright idea to get a group together to play a good game of backyard football. He texted some of his friends, and they all agreed on a place and time. Johan, Timothy's best friend, suggested they should all play tackle football instead of two-hand touch because two-hand touch was for sissies. Timothy was nervous about this and replied in their massive group text that a night might not be the best idea because it is dangerous. Johan was adamant, stating Who cares if it's dangerous? Sometimes you have to take some risks in life to have more fun. A few hours later, while playing their rough game of backyard football, Big Maui, the Polynesian, tackled Johan so hard it broke his clavicle. Johan was very upset about this and later decided to sue Timothy, whose backyard the game took place.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's perfect.
So I kind of did the implied and the expression of risk in there. I mean, it's implied that you can get hurt by playing backyard football, but Johan literally expresses that he knows there's a danger and he wanted to play anyways.
So who is the owner of the place, of the
So,
backyard?
I'm saying it's Thomas because I don't think, I was going to say that they were kids. They were like 15, 16-year-old kids, but if they are 15 or 16-year-old kids, then their parents are going to be involved, and that just creates a whole different liability situation. And I mean, if you have like home insurance and all this stuff, it gets messy to me. So I'm just saying that Timothy was his own homeowner and he was his own person, and they were all independent human beings.
Yeah, I agree.
So, so basically what we do is we copy that same example and then add a question to the end.
Okay, do we need to have several questions, or it could be just one? Or
We have, oh wait, no, we have to do an explanation of our example, sorry.
oh, okay.
And quiz question. Our quiz question is our example plus a question at the end. 2 answers and 1 right answer and the 3 are wrong. So what do you guys think would be a good question for this one?
Good question. Let me think.
So one of the questions I thought of was, will Timothy have to pay damages for Johan's injuries that happened because of the backyard football game?
Okay.
Differently, but so.
I would say, let me make sure who's the owner of the backyard. So I guess it's was that an empty field or?
No, it was in Timothy's backyard.
Oh, Timothy's. Okay. I would think if, in a situation like this, can Timothy be responsible for damages? Timothy.
Because Timothy, Johan acknowledged in his text message that when Timothy goes to court, he's going to show this text message saying that Johan knew there was a risk that he could get injured, and he still played anyways.
Yep.
And so he knew that there was an implied risk. He admitted that, and then he still played knowing that. And so.
But both knew that, right? And both decide at the end just.
Yeah, both of them decide to play, but
yeah.
Johan was the only one that gets hurt, and so he can't sue anybody because
he consented.
Yeah, he consented to play.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just got a text from Andy. He said he's not going to make it tonight, but he'll try and make the next meeting.
All right. I guess, do you have his email?
Yeah, I found his email in the what's it called?
In the reply? Or
oh no, it was in the group discussion board. I went and found his name and found his Gmail in there. So I emailed him and I got it into our chat and I invited him here, but he's not going to make it tonight. So yeah, said he'll make next week's. But so the quiz question could be something like, will Timothy have to pay for the medical expenses let's say, or will Timothy have to pay for the treatment of Johan's broken clavicle? phone if you didn't know that.
Let me pull up that template here again. I was kind of confused. I wasn't able to meet last week due to the scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
When I was in that other group, so this is still fairly fresh. And
That's cool. That's totally fine. So,
So what
The
about the Polynesian person or the Polynesian guy? Is he not responsible or can?
so the Polynesian was the one who broke the kid's clavicle.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the Paul did break his clavicle. So I guess he could sue him, but the same argument would still stand that Johan still consented to play the game. So even though Maui tackled him and broke his clavicle, Johan knew that was a possibility and a risk involved with playing that game. So that's another example we could use. I just chose to say that since it was Timothy's backyard, he wanted to sue Timothy because that's where it took place.
Okay. So we'll use that as a quiz question. And what would be the correct answer then? Let's read about that.
So will Timothy have to pay for the treatment of Johan's broken clavicle? I would say the correct answer would be no. And the correct answer feedback would be Johan expressed the assumption of risk in the text messages when in the text messages. Oh, when Timothy stated it would be dangerous. Okay, and then what would be a good wrong answer? Yes. Yes. The game was in Timothy's backyard, so he is liable for any injuries that take place. So the wrong answer feedback would be, oh, the game took place in Timothy's backyard. Johan expressed the assumption of risk when he said, who cares? Who cares if it's dangerous? Sometimes you have to take some risks to have more fun. Johan sounds like an idiot. You guys have any thoughts for wrong answer number 2?
Let's see here. Wrong answer number 2 could be
I would say yes, because it was Timothy's idea. Yes, because Timothy organized the game in the first place.
okay.
I think that's a good one.
Nice.
Okay, I need to stop looking at that template thing. It's tripping me up where it says the wrong answer example and stuff. Thinking more about that than the actual topic at hand. Okay, refocus.
Wrong answer feedback would be even though Timothy organized the game, Johan still expressed the assumption of risk through text messages.
Through the text messages?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then wrong answer number 3, I don't know. I would say no, but he should sue Maui because he's the one that tackled him.
Oh, that's the name of the Polynesian guy? Oh. Okay.
He was the one who caused the injury. And the same is still going to be true that Johan is still assumed the risk by playing that game. So even though the wrong answer feedback for number 3 will be, even though Maui caused the injury by tackling Johan still expressed the assumption of risk when he texted the group saying he didn't care if it was dangerous. Okay, so we have to explain our example. I forgot to do that. So in this example,
What do we need to explain in this part? Like why?
why, how this relates to our topic. So in this example, Johan expressed the assumption of risk when he texted saying who cares if it's dangerous? Sometimes you have to take some risks in life to have fun. Okay, so
I keep racking my brain trying to help you out, man.
you're fine.
I'm running on E.
I probably spend too much time thinking about these things. So I think law fascinates me. I want to be a lawyer. So
Okay.
this is
Tyler, you want to
fun.
be a lawyer? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Oh, you really have a good mind for it.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think it'd be fun. So we'll see. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Okay.
That was a perfect example because it's kind of tricky. I wonder if
It is.
this, if this, I'm pretty sure, something like this happened, and I'm sure someone either win or
Yeah,
or
definitely.
lost. Mhm.
So there's that. I'll go ahead and after we stop this broadcast, I'll go get the link to this recording, and I'll put it on our group assignment, and then I will take it. I'll submit it to our instructor.
Okay, perfect. So you were able to. So how do the YouTube recording? You just go to you create an account with YouTube first, right?
Well, so if you have a Google account like Gmail, you can link that to YouTube. Google owns YouTube now.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you sign into your Gmail account on YouTube, that's your account, and then there's a thing, you click on your picture, and there's a box that says Creator Studio,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to the left where it says Live Streaming, you go to Live Event, and then you create a live event from there.
So that's the one that that's why it says live at the very
Yep, so this
corner.
is live. If somebody was following, then in the bottom right corner, it would say view, there'd be one viewer.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. So that's it.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much for all the details. Yeah, that was perfect. It made me understand a little bit better because I was kind of lost.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you were able to understand a little better. Hopefully, Andy can join us next week.
Yep.
And
And
I'll be a lot better prepared. I
it's
kind
all
of got
good.
a grasp on everything.
Yep. So you guys have a good evening, and I'll talk to you later.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.